Would I be the asshole if I take my two bio kids for a beach weekend when my stepkids are with their mom?
I, 32 female, have two stepchildren who are 14 male and 13 female and two bio children who are 4 male and 2 male.
I don't have a very good relationship with my stepkids right now, and they don't have a good relationship with their half-siblings.
This makes having family time together a very rough experience. It's also impossible for us all to have a good time if I take all 4 kids anywhere alone.
It's a mess.
So when my sister asked me if I'd like to have a beach weekend when my husband is out of town for work next month, I said sure.
Her husband owns a beach house and she was planning to go with her kids and our mutual best friend and her kids.
My mill did not like the plan because my stepkids will be with their mom and she feels something like this should wait until I have the kids, despite the fact nobody would have fun doing this.
My husband TJ supports me going and told his parents as much. I admit I'm conflicted. For those who need BG, I met TJ 12 years ago. My stepkids were both under 3 years old.
Their mother was engaged to someone at the time too. We got along fine.
TJ and I got married after 2 years together. Not long after, things changed with the kid's mother.
Her engagement broke down sometime before TJ and I married.
A while after my marriage, she became very toxic and angry. She hated me most of all and accused me of trying to replace her with the kids and make her look like a bad mom.
None of this is true. This started years of alienation and an unsettled parenting time split, with the courts sometimes taking custody from her, giving her every other weekend, or 50-50.
Currently it's 50-50.
The kids are in therapy. We have all been ordered into mediation, co-parenting classes, family therapy as a group of 5, and therapy between TJ and the mom.
She has been arrested 3 times, which has influenced the court's rulings on custody at times.
The kids believe her that I'm trying to replace her.
They believe I tried to make her look bad.
They hate me. When they interact with me, they tell me I am not their mom and they won't do chores when only I'm home, or they won't go to the store with me.
My husband ended up hiring someone to help when he works.
They behave way better with him except where our bio kids together are concerned. They have been punished at times for their behavior.
It's not ideal. It doesn't work.
They're still in therapy. I don't need them to love me. But to not get angry and lash out for my presence would be ideal.
To not be cruel to their half-siblings.
It's so tough finding the right balance between supporting and loving them and being here and not overstepping or inserting myself where they don't want me and making things worse. What's hardest is my husband's family believe I am better for the kids than their mom is, and they encourage me to build up a mom relationship with them, and they judge me for not trying to give the kids that. So that's where we're at.
Would I be the asshole if I go with just my kids? Not the asshole.
But none of this story was necessary, and all you are going to do is make yourself look bad with it. The bottom line is that your stepkids are going to be with their mom.
You have the right to go where you want with your own kids. Even if everyone got along wonderfully, you would still have the right to do that.
I don't see any conflict here.
Not the asshole. It's clear they don't see you as family, and that means they don't get included in your family outings. Enjoy your weekend break.
Go to the beach with your 2 kids. Enjoy it and ignore any input from Mill. Not the asshole, but learn to be less forthcoming with private information.
Why was anyone else aware of your plan to go to the beach?
The only person who needed to know, apart from your sister, of course, was your husband. None of this makes sense.
Info. Does your mill expect you and your kids to, boot down and sit in your closet all weekend like discarded toys or something while the other kids are at the other house?
Why are the other kids allowed to have weekend activities doing things that don't involve your kids, but your kids can't do weekend things without them?
You know your NTA. Tell your mill you are all getting therapy and her interference is making the situation worse. Have fun at the beach. Not the asshole. Not the asshole.
You've mentioned that it's challenging to manage all 4 kids alone and that family outings are often stressful and unenjoyable for everyone involved. Taking your bio kids for a weekend trip when your stepkids are with their mom is a practical decision to ensure that your bio kids can have a pleasant experience without the tension. Your stepkids will be with their mother, meaning they won't be left out or feel neglected since they'll be spending quality time with her. It's not like you're excluding them while they're at home or available. They have their own plans.
Am I the asshole for bringing up my friend's gross lifestyle when he said being a som wasn't real work? For background, I am currently a SOM doing 100% of the child rearing and chores around the house.
Household bills are split about 80/20 with my husband covering the majority of things while I pick up internet or grocery bills here or there.
I also pay for all my own personal bills like phone, car payment and insurance.
While out for dinner with some friends, the topic of division of bills and chores came up. Some friends said they expected an equal split of 50-50 for paying bills and household chores.
Great! I support it if that's what works for them. But one friend in particular kept bringing up the fact that being a SOM wasn't a real job. He knows I'm a SOM and I obviously consider what I do work, even if it's not a traditional 9 to 5 or whatever. I politely explained that in my opinion domestic work was very much still work.
I explained that I'm always caring for our child, which requires a lot of attention and entertaining, while also making 3 meals a day, doing laundry, cleaning.
I also do the mental work of scheduling appointments and remembering to pick up certain groceries or toiletries, etc. I compared this to the likes of hiring a maid, a cook or having a personal assistant, which are all jobs. He just came back with "But you just stay home all day living off husband. I would never go to work just so someone can live at my house rent-free."
The whole table sort of laughed, and this is where I became enraged. We lived with this friend for a little while before I knew how he lived. So I just said, "I can tell you don't value domestic labor considering your house was disgusting when we moved in and I had to clean it. You had no groceries but a ketchup bottle in your fridge, no kitchenware and ate DoorDash every night in your room because you never bothered to buy furniture."
There was dead silence at the table before I finished with, "You're 35 years old and can't talk to women. I wouldn't worry about anyone living with you anytime soon."
I could feel I was on the verge of tears and my heart was racing, so I got up and walked to my car.
My husband followed me out, and when we got in the car and began to drive home,
I tried to hold back tears while he comforted me, but eventually he told me that what I said was unnecessarily harsh and I should try to apologize. When I got home, I had been removed from our friends group chat, but one of my friends had texted me on the side to tell me he thought everything I said was true but that I shouldn't have made it personal just because our friend disagreed with my views.
Now I think I just lost all my friends, and maybe it wasn't serious enough to bring up his personal stuff. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole.
But I got lots of questions. How are you paying 20% and other bills if you don't work? Why isn't he contributing to 20% of childcare and home chores then too?
But in reality, you should have 100% childcare while he is at work. Then you do 50-50 when he is home. Why the heck didn't your husband jump to your defense immediately? You need better friends. And a more supportive husband.
I shouldn't have made it personal. What? He already made it personal by insulting what you do.
You're not the asshole. He got what he deserved. Red Pill Guy talks. Women responds with strength and conviction. Red Pill Guy's friend says you are being mean.
These new, tough, masculine men are so pathetic.
Info. I am currently a SOM doing 100% of the child rearing and chores around the house.
Household bills are split about 80/20 with my husband covering the majority of things while I pick up internet or grocery bills here or there.
I also pay for all my own personal bills like phone, car payment and insurance.
Why are you paying 20% of bills and the rest you listed when you don't work and are a SOM doing all the chores and childcare?
Your friends are obviously Oz, but sounds like your husband is too. Not the asshole sounds like the friend had it long coming.
It's clear your friend doesn't value women or the work involved in running a household, with a kid no less, since he sees all the work you continue to do as living off your husband. I'm guessing this friend will never marry because as soon as any woman see how he lives, she will turn and run the other way. I'm betting all the friends that are telling you to apologize are guys. You might have struck a nerve with them as well, especially if they have girlfriends, wives in their lives. Don't apologize.
He continued to bring up that SOM is not real work, and that he wouldn't live off someone else's earnings. While you were sitting right there, you clapped back and said some truths about living with him in the past. I think you may have been a bit harsh, but why does the friend group think it's okay for him to trash your work but it's not okay for you to trash his lifestyle after you witnessed it, lived with it? I think he's the asshole. The friend group are not really your friends or they would have interrupted him, and your hubby should have your back. But for you only since you were a bit harsh, but the rest are ta. Am I the asshole for refusing to share batch-cooked food with my sister? I'm 27 female, a mom of 2 with my third on the way.
To make life easier and because I work from home, self-employed, around my kids, that means my husband or I will batch cook and freeze a lot of food so we're not super stressed about how we're eating.
Typically we will batch cook 1-2x a week and store it on our large freezer. We have more than enough to keep us going for a while. I bring this up because it might be relevant info for some. Anyway, my sister, 36 female, has 2 kids of her own. We're not close, but last month her husband was in the hospital for a week, and as a favor to my parents I babysat my sister's kids. She was okay with this, and even though I never met her children before, it went well. But after my sister's husband got home from the hospital, she called me up and told me she couldn't believe the kids ate so much at my house, and what the hell was I feeding them? I gave a rough list of the things they ate, she scoffed at it and then ended our call. I was rolling my eyes so hard at her for this. Apparently between then and 2 days ago she had spoken to our parents, who mentioned that I balance all the stuff I give my kids, and they let my sister know her kids would have eaten some kind of veggie at my house. Seems they don't really go for fruits or veggies easily, but especially veggies. With this information my sister reached out again and told me to send her a bunch of the food I have in my freezer because she's tired of her kids not eating their veggies, and if she has to do it my dumb way, then she will until her husband is back on his feet. I told her after the way she demanded I send her food and after the insulting way she did it too, the answer was no. I told her she doesn't get to treat me like crap and then expect favors. She told me I could easily spare some since our parents made it sound like I make a lot of food in advance and I should be willing to help out family. I told her I already helped and my answer was no to more help. She grew more annoyed and told me I was a selfish little brat and hung up on me. Yesterday she texted me to say she hopes I'm proud of myself for not helping out. For those who'll ask why we're not close. My sister judged me for getting pregnant in my 20s. She didn't think I could be a good mom because we don't share the same parenting opinions, and she was so rude about all this. She was setting me up to fail and I can't get over that. Plus she has always acted like I'm just a screw-up and a baby, and that's not true. Am I the asshole? Hey, sis. Give me food to feed my kids because you have figured out how to get the kids to eat vegetables, even if it is dumb. Give me your food you prepared for your family because I can't be bothered to do it myself. Your sister. Oh. Yay. Sure. I would be jumping at the opportunity to help after being asked so kindly. But if you want to go malicious compliance, feed those kids the best food, wonderful food, better than your judgmental sister could ever come up with, and ruin them for whatever crap she feeds them. Sister will have to up her game or have complaining kids, lol. Not the asshole whatever you do. Not the asshole. At the start I was wondering why you hadn't met her children, but the answer became immediately apparent. You should be proud of yourself. Go back to ignoring her. Send her the recipes, and then say, here, you can make them too. So we both can be proud of ourselves. Not the asshole. Don't do favors for your parents on her behalf. That's a door that needs to be shut and locked again. She can use that as a gateway to get to you. Nip that in the bud. Keep the door open for those kids in future though, but definitely keep it closed on your sister. You don't need that drama. She can ask other people in hers and her husband's life for help next time, since she doesn't like or appreciate anything you do or have ever done to better yourself, your husband and your kids' lives. Not the asshole. Your sister is insanely silly or entitled, or both. A normal person would just say, wow. How did you manage to feed my kids all of that? Can you please teach me? Your sister went all, give me your food or else I would start insulting you. What a stupid and unproductive way of asking for help. Not the asshole. Just this morning, I saw someone make a post. Be prepared to be the villain in someone else's story. She has quite the sack to insult you as she demands you do her favors. Am I the asshole for refusing to prioritize my sister over me? I, 15 male, have a younger sister, 13 female, named Abby. Abby was born 1 week early. This is something my parents really made a huge deal out of. They called her their miracle baby as long as I can remember, and used to pick fights with family members because Abby got away with everything when she was little, still does, and extended family were pissed when she would steal toys off cousins or take everything she wanted without thinking of others. This happened everywhere. At grandparents' house, in public, at home, and our parents were furious when family members would step in to correct Abby.
They'd also correct her for taking stuff from me, and my parents would always tell family I didn't care. Then when Abby was 5, she got really sick with the flu, which turned into pneumonia, and she was in the hospital for weeks.
My parents were worse after that. She had to be the priority, her happiness was everything, and that ruined my life completely.
They would agree to let me do stuff with friends and then make me cancel, or would just tell me I couldn't go and wouldn't let me cancel so I could play with Abby because she wanted to play with me. One time my friend's parents had paid for me to join them at the amusement park, and my parents told them as the others showed up at our door.
It was so embarrassing. Abby and I would fight a lot. She'd tell me I had to hang out with her and I'd say I didn't want to. Then my parents would say Abby was right and I had to. When she had other kids to hang out with, I'd catch a break, but when she wasn't allowed to play with them anymore or when they'd fight, she'd demand me. My parents would then say all my plans were off the table. It made it so hard for me to keep friends. My parents were also those parents to send Abby with me to parties if she had no other plans, and when parents were like no way in advance, my parents would only let me go if Abby had plans. 2 years ago, Abby stole from one of my friends while he was at our house. My parents defended her and refused to make her return it. So his parents stopped us from being friends. Abby made fun of me for being upset, and I told her I hated her and she ruined my life. I got grounded for it. But it's when I stopped caring at all about Abby and decided I don't care about being selfish, but I don't want to make her life happy. My parents made her impossible to be around, and I wish I never had to see her again. We can't even see extended family now because my parents pissed them off so bad over Abby. My parents are now pissed at me because the camp they're sending Abby and me to this summer is separating us, and they wanted me to ask for them to keep us together. The camp ignored my parents, so they expected me to do it for them. But I refused, and they told me I should think of my sister and how lost she'll be, especially for her first year at this camp. I told them I don't care. They told me I should prioritize my sister over myself. I said no way. They called me selfish. Am I the asshole? I'm sorry, but I'm absolutely cackling over a baby being born one singular week early, being a miracle baby. Whatever the heck is going on in your parents' brains that they need to inject some made-up strife into your sister's life to make unequal treatment fair, wouldn't be fair either way, is pathologically strange. Not the asshole. You never owe anyone an explanation for why you're prioritizing your own well-being over someone else's. They've made it quite easy for you to do so. I was born 8 days early and my sibling was 10 days early. No miracle children to be seen here. That's so common law, I can't with that. You've spent Abby's entire life prioritizing her over me. If I don't prioritize myself, then I won't be a priority to anyone, and I'm not willing to live like that. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. This is not on you. Summer camps have rules. Children are always put in groups. Frequently these are based on age and gender. This is a chance for you to play and have fun meeting new friends for your own age. If they are free and we can't handle it, she doesn't have to go. Not the asshole. I'm sorry your parents are so awful to you. Do you have grandparents or other family you can stay with? Not the asshole. I'm sorry you have shitty parents. Work hard for scholarships and get away in a few years. Just don't tell them anything about your plans. Well, they've ruined her. Unless a radical shift happens, this is going to negatively affect her into adulthood. And good luck dealing with the family.